What is up, you guys? I'm Sinister Plague Doctor, and we're back with our sixth episode of Brain Overload Podcast. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Please make sure to hit a like on this video and sub to the channel. I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Blade Eclipse Dog and Swerve DC. You can follow them both over on Twitch. They both stream, and Swerve also does YouTube, so sub to his YouTube channel. And today we are joined by a very awesome and special guest, Zero Limits Gaming. He runs an amazing Discord community, and we're going to be interviewing him today and talking to him about a lot of stuff. So stay tuned for that.
All right, first question we got for the man himself, Zero Limits, the creator of that Zero Limits Gaming. I think we'll start off with how did you come up with Zero Limits Gaming? The start of it.
So this was just a crazy idea. And, I was kind of in a place where I was at a heel turn for 40 and I needed to decide on something that I was passionate about that I wanted to do in my life that wasn't slaving away 8 to 5. So I decided, I love video games. I always have ever since I was a kid. I love community, playing games, multiplayer games, just the experience behind it. My oldest son is states away, and it's, how we bond. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my own community. I was running my own Discord for about 7 years with only like 30 people in there, but I loved dropping game trailers or always having the newest game release dates and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna step it up. I'm gonna open this, and I want to grow a community that's about games. So, September last year, I opened the doors, and, now we're almost at 500 members.
Yeah, we're going quick.
But the idea behind it is a business. I wanted to start my own business that was all around gaming. So, I created the brand. And when we started out, we went by Ground Zero Gaming.
Ground Zero Gaming.
3 months in, I found out that name was taken. So, we had to rebrand entirely 3 months in, to what we are now, which is Zero Limits Gaming, XLG.
XLG, baby. So have you noticed any like struggles that you go through with being like a manager of the XLG, like the leader?
Oh, every day.
Every day.
Every single day, there's something. But that's just, that's part of management. I get involved, especially with our members. I make sure that I'm fixing problems and that things don't go on, ignored. So yeah, there's always something every day.
Always something. What
I
do you
do
guys
gotta
have
say, out of the other Discord groups I've seen, yours is definitely like the most supportive and personalized one that I've been a part of.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of work. I probably have at least 3,000 hours into building the Discord by myself.
Jeez.
That's
And
commitment. I wanted to make sure before I opened up that I had a very strong foundation for the vision, which is to house tens of thousands of people. So it's ready. It's ready. And it's rumbling.
It's rumbling.
You're always cooking behind the scenes too. I've noticed like there's times where like I stay up a little late too, and I'd figure like you'd be sleeping or something, and I send you a message at like 3 in the morning. Like it was the one about the hype emote that you made, and I was like, this hype emote's not going into Twitch perfectly or something. And I figured you'd get to it the next day or something. No, you were right there. You're like, you like that one? I'll get it remade for you. So, Swerve, you got anything you want to ask Zero? Talk to him about?
Oh man, I'm trying to think right now. I just woke up like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, my brain's foggy right now. I'm trying to turn it on. I guess, I mean, in regards to like values and stuff for like the brand itself, I guess my question is how did you, I guess, base those values? Was it did you get it like from other communities that you've kind of experimented with, or was it just your own morals and like values that you kind of based into your own brand?
Well, that's kind of the glory with starting your own business is I am the sole proprietor, right? I can make
Hmm.
whatever I want. The foundation is mine. So creating that identity was actually a real struggle for, the first 4 months. Like, what do I want to be? Like, what do I want to be about? And what is the image for the brand when people see it? Which is all very important, especially in marketing oneself or a business. So, the rules have shifted and I still really live by this. And, I have an 11-year-old and he loves games. I want to have a safe haven for him to come in. So for me, it's very important that, chat is secure, and there's not a lot of foul language or, all this other stuff that you see in other Discords. So that was one of my main directions at first because I spent hundreds of hours just researching other Discords. Like, what do I want to be? What's my competition doing? And how can I be different? How can I be better? And what's my market? I do want to have not little kids, but I want teenagers to feel comfortable in the community, looking for groups or watching trailers and stuff like that. So I've been really pushing that PG or that PG-13. So we keep it safe for work, which has actually been kind of difficult, because I've noticed the average gamer, especially with Discord, is they're between 18 and 40, So, language is, something that's really hard to control for that age group. Or, people, they're not used to it. But also, I wanted to keep it very professional because, again, I cannot stress this enough. This is a business. So for me, it's very important to treat it like one. So as, I'm building relationships and doing one-on-ones with streamers or talking to other Discord groups, I keep it that way. It's very professional. Like, it's a business. So, but coming up with the brand, instead of just keeping it around games, we did start to get into the streaming market. And when I kind of went that direction, it was because streamers play games. So I was like, okay, I could work with this, If I have a gaming community, why wouldn't they want to watch, someone that got a game 2 weeks early, on their stream? Like, that sounds really exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if I can get people to do reviews on trailers or, developer interviews and stuff like that. So that's kind of the direction. We haven't hit that yet. But as for the brand, that's somewhere I want to go is like, we have a one-stop shop for all things gaming. And, I'm going to say it right here. I'm trying to compete with IGN. Like, that's my goal. Yes, it's ambitious.
That's a vision.
That's, a super high bar, but who's to say that I can't hit it?
And that's a good point because everyone starts somewhere. There's always going to be a next thing. So if you put your mind to it, you could easily become, not easily, but you could definitely become the next IGN.
Right, and even IGN had to start somewhere.
Exactly.
So, yep, sky's the limit. No limits.
Zero limits.
Zero limits, baby. So what are some of the toughest obstacles that you've had to overcome with this Discord?
Hands down, one of the hardest things to deal with, especially in the platform Discord, is, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like in today's day and age, people don't really like to read. Like, and I'm not trying to be insulting, but Discord is a blogger's space. So, it's really hard to get bloggers to get out of their comfy zone and join a different Discord. And then when they're in there, invest the time to read the newspaper. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, there's a lot of things that are overlooked, like, maybe how the Discord operates or when something new comes out or, like with the pings and stuff. people aren't really like reading the content that's out there. And I'm not saying everybody, but I would say at least 60% of, you know, my server's population is not really reading, I guess. But I don't know how true that is. But it's a struggle when I create, you know, I spend time putting out information and then it's not read, or people miss things, or
Yeah.
a system doesn't work entirely because there's no follow through. You know what I'm saying? So that's been one of the hardest things. So I constantly ask myself, okay, how do I make this easier to use? Like maybe it's a direction thing on my end, or maybe it's too much. Because if you look at the Discord, it's big, it's huge, it's massive. And it can be daunting for people to step into if they've never seen a Discord like that. So I've been trying to make it smaller and more compact and still have the ease of use. So that's been a struggle. And then, you know, the separation of, because right now we're working with a lot of streamers. So separating the gamers from the streamers has also been a big struggle because, you know, streamers are out there to get, you know, follows and views, or, you know, it's a support network on its own. But when you mix Twitch life with Discord, because we also have a bunch of gamers, you know, they don't even look at Twitch and they're just trying to play games or watch news. Having the mix of the two has been kind of a struggle because it's like, you know, don't promote yourself, or, you know, these gamers, you know, not to be mean, but they don't really care if you're about to hit 500 followers. The streamers would, or, you know, if you have your own followership within the group, sure. But also, like, there's that line, you know what I'm saying? Between gamer and streamer, because not everybody's a hybrid.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's been tough also.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that, like, a lot of the members that we have join into with going along with the reading thing is like not a lot of them read, so then they don't get to get those roles that they want. They don't get pinged about their favorite games because they don't grab their game roles. They don't grab their roles as a streamer or viewer type thing. So they miss out on a lot too because they don't read.
Yeah. And I'm not talking negative about anybody. Like I said, this could be, you know, just a design decision that needs to be adjusted. Because I've never done this before, so I don't know the best way it could work or should work. So, you know, maybe it's just tuning things to cater for both gamer and streamer better.
Definitely. Sinister, you got anything you want to ask them?
I'm thinking about stuff.
I feel like I should have had some notes.
Right,
written
me
down
too.
for
And
this
that's the
one.
thing. It's like taking a test. Like the past week, I've been thinking of questions, so many questions to ask, because I was super excited about this podcast. And then I sat down and was like, I don't remember any of my questions. But I guess one of my questions would be like, do you feel like, okay, so you said you got streamers and gamers, and they're kind of separated at times. Do you feel like the gamers are easier to work with on Discord, or the streamers? Like, which one is easier to cater to, or which one do you enjoy catering to more?
Well, that's the thing. So they're both completely different worlds. The gamers in the server, you know, I feel like they're more shy. They're less likely to just join in an open voice channel with 16 people and they're all playing Among Us. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Unless
definitely.
they actually know them. But they're also not really engaging. They might just be there for the news. Maybe they just like all the news, because we do have a bunch of news that comes in. Or, you know, maybe they just like the game part and they don't care about anything else. And I feel like the gamers are more likely to read on topics that they've chosen, so that's why they stay. Whereas a streamer, so something I've noticed is streamers love to talk. And there's nothing wrong with that. Streamers are also more likely to just jump into that 16-party voice channel.
Yep.
And and start their own groups. So it's definitely a juggle because they're both completely different. And even their tastes. Like if you think about streamers, they're trying to get like that new game, or they have a certain niche that they're fulfilling. Some gamers or some streamers do play retro games, but they'll stick in their zone. Whereas gamers, they'll have like, okay, I play this one game, I got 3,000 hours, I'm ready to talk builds. So they're ready to like blog about like this whole like crazy build idea, or like different stats and meta and stuff like that. Whereas streamers usually jump around in their games, unless they're committed to one type of game. So yeah, it's kind of just it's a juggling act, and a lot of listening and kind of paying attention to what everybody's doing and adjusting depending on the flows.
Makes sense. I do have a personal question for you. I mean, it's not like super personal, but you're into gaming, obviously. What is your favorite type of game or favorite series that you've played?
Ooh, personal questions.
I am a huge Square Enix fanboy, so I love all the Final Fantasies. I'm also super in love with Capcom games.
Okay.
So I play a lot of fighters. I love Mega Man. That's where I got my nickname from. And Devil May Cry and all that. So
Nice.
I love RPGs. I just love getting lost in them for hours on end and living that second life.
I do know that XERO loves Fortnite. He said it. He's a building god on that Fortnite, I heard.
I love making houses in a firefight.
Little tents. That's what I make.
What's one thing that when with the streaming and the gamers in there, what's one thing that you think about when people think about XLG that gets more misconstrued with it? Like, I don't know if that was the right word, but they get confused on, misconcepted about the Discord itself, along with like, because we got all these other support groups and stuff. What do you think that people confuse XLG with?
So this is a constant battle. And I work with a lot of Discords. I'll join random Discords and say, take me to your leader kind of thing. Like, let's talk business. And I do that all the time to tell them, what I'm doing, what I'm about, and if they want to be a part of it. One of the biggest misconceptions, though, is, especially in the streamer world, when XLG is promoted on a streamer stream, streamers that join think it's a streaming community, which is 100% false. And I think that's because, in Discord, there are a lot of 100% streamer support communities, and I've seen a lot of them. What I haven't seen is gaming communities supporting streamers, which is what we are. So it's been a struggle, telling people what we are, or just them like kind of getting the point, because I haven't seen anything that exists like this yet. And that's something I love about it so much, is this is a Discord that I've always wanted to be a part of. So seeing it getting bigger and thrive is great, because I haven't found something like this yet. So when people step in, it turns their head. They're like, wait, what? Like, what are they doing over here? Like, they're all about games and stuff, and they got streamers? Okay. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest difference, is people aren't used to the idea because it's unique.
Yeah.
Definitely. I guess I want to ask this question. I don't think it's been asked, but if it has been, it's probably been asked by the top dog. But I'd say back when XLG was, literally ground zero, like just the groundworks, and we're just kind of starting out. Did you have any, super down days where, you just kind of doubted the future and the outcome of XLG? And if so, like, how were you able to, get around that?
I did. So September last year, my birthday, I opened the gates. So we hit about 100 members. I partnered with a couple other Discords, and you know, be straight up, they backstabbed me. At that same time, my birthday came around, and I had to do a complete rebrand on the brand I've been working on for 3 months. Needless to say, I took a break for 4 months.
Yeah.
It was tough because I felt, you know, to be honest, I felt defeated. You know, I was building these relationships with these people. I felt like you know, I had a lot of responsibility. I was doing all the legwork, I felt like, and I needed to just take a break. I needed to step back and, you know, refocus. I knew I was going to come back and I wasn't going to let it down. I always had plans to come back. The question at that point was when. You know, so I got through the storm because literally it was wintertime and I had to relocate. And then I took some time for myself to reflect and then rebuild the brand and really think like, okay, like I knew what I was doing was working. But this time, the next time I come back, like I don't want to stop. So that was kind of the thing is like, when do I come back and what's my approach? So it's been very tactical when I decided to come back. There was a lot of things that happen. But yeah, it's all planning your work and working your plan. I do a lot of actual business for the company that I'm with, and there's a lot of different strategies in operations and stuff that I do apply to this community and to the XLG stream team. You know, it's taken me, you know, this is like a decade worth of knowledge in business that I'm applying to this, and it works. Control your controllables is something that's very important. And that was something I asked myself when coming back, you know, it's like, okay, what can I control? I can't control how other people react, but, you know, I can create different design decisions. You know, I can build a Discord that's better than everyone else's. That's something I can control. You know, they step in and they're just in awe. Okay, so image is important. Focus on image. And, you know, what's the direction? What's the, you know, what's the message behind the brand was also another thing. So coming back, I really embraced community. You know, yes, we're about games. But when I came back, you know, just spreading the love was the message of XLG, and it still is. And that's why, you know, we're doing affiliate pushes. You know, we have the appreciation channel that's blowing up every day. You know, people are out there supporting each other, no matter how big or how small. And that's something I really want to embrace because I feel like just how the world is, there's not enough of that. So having a community that can feel safe, and, you know, feel supported or just welcomed and not belittled or, you know, have all this pressure from how many tabs do you have open and all that stuff, you know, just real easy going and like just the place you can just have fun and enjoy everybody's company. Like, so that's something we've really embraced. And I came back around, I think it was February. So we've been pushing real strong and we've, you know, basically doubled in size. And that's what's been driving me is I love the love. You know, I've seen people cry on stream. Like Wise Guy, he broke down. That made me feel so good. Or, you know, this month, like we've been pushing Children's Mental Health Network, and we've almost raised, I think, like $600. So there's a bunch of little things that are happening with the support and the love that just make it like, it's powerful stuff, you know?
It's definitely game changing. Like I've noticed it is the role that you play in the Discord community is just unlike any other that I've seen. You really, like I said before, make it like personalized and personable, and you take care of all of your people in the Discord community. I guess I do have another question. Besides love for video games and the appreciation you get back, what are some of your biggest inspirations to keep the Discord going and like like just what makes you keep wanting to grow and get bigger, and what inspires you to do it?
So this has been and always will be my greatest inspiration. So get a little personal. I grew up in poverty, and my dad was extremely abusive. But I haven't seen him in like 4 years. Oh, sorry, my baby just walked in. He's like, "What, Dad?" But yeah, that being said, so I moved states away, and I don't keep in contact with my parents for personal reasons.
Okay.
But I have an 11-year-old, and now I have a 2-year-old son. And like I said, when I was taking that heel turn, for me, it's like I don't want to have to work an 8 to 5. I want to be able to give my son something that I never had, which was first and foremost a great dad. And I've got that nailed down.
Props to you for
The
that.
second thing, though, is like, I need to be able to, support them financially or hand down some kind of legacy. Like my oldest son, he loves Fortnite. And, when I talk about the server and how it's growing, he's not in it yet because I don't think he's ready. I don't think the community is ready yet either. But one day, maybe that's something I could hand down to him. Like, here you go, son. Here's a community with 10,000 people in it, all gamers, do what you will. Or, we're doing tournaments or, doing interviews with developers and stuff like that. Or we have our own broadcasting network. Like, this is a lot bigger than a lot of people see on the front end. But, we're even doing like an international push right now. There's actually another Discord for EU and UK under the XLG branch.
That's awesome.
Because we're trying to do 24/7. So, and we're only 7 months in. Like, this is a 5 to 10-year-old business plan for me. So, at the end of that, I want this to be something that I can hand down to my kids or, use as a retirement. But it's also something, the inspiration behind it is I've always wanted to create something from nothing that became something big. And I feel like this is it. I've put a lot of work in. It was literally nothing but an idea, and now it's like coming to fruition. So that's very powerful for me because, pretty much my whole life, everybody's always told me, games rot your brain. You're wasting your time.
Yep.
You're going to be nobody. Like, you have to go to college. No. I'm a high school dropout. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and honestly, not to cut you off, but in today's day and age, because like my parents are the same way. They say, it's a 1 in a million chance to become a professional gamer or make a life on YouTube or Twitch or something like that. But in today's day and age, it is way more plausible to become one of those things and be successful in it than it was 5-10 years ago.
Exactly. Absolutely. So yeah, that's my inspiration behind it. People said I can't do it, I'll never do it, and I won't be able to do it. Well, I say, yeah, right. Let's see.
Take a seat and watch.
That's kind of
exactly
where I'm at too. Like going to work and stuff. I get made fun of at work because I stream quite a bit, and they're like, "Why don't you go out and do something? Like go out and like work on a farm or something.
Go touch grass.
Go touch grass and stuff." It's like I do that too. I do enjoy the outdoors. Actually, I get that in and stuff, and it's just like there's a major between like I'm not poking at generations or nothing, but with the older generation, they find video games to be not good for you or a waste of time and everything. And it's like at the same time, I'm just thinking to myself like, right now I'm working and streaming at the same time, but one day at this like place, I will put my 2 weeks in because I will become a full-time streamer, and you guys are gonna lose somebody that you should have embraced and not like treated like they were below you type thing.
Yep.
It's like now I'm gonna be doing something that I love while you guys are sitting here cussing at a piece of equipment, and I'm gonna be over here talking to people that genuinely enjoy me and enjoying my life.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, is like I've always wanted to do something where I've like 100% passionate about it because I feel like that's what people should do with their lives, right?
Yeah, especially because life is too short, and you shouldn't waste it. Spend it like people. Even my mom, for example, she's a nurse. She works 4 12-hour shifts a week, and it's like, not only do I want to make it, on YouTube and Twitch for myself and my own reasons, but like I want to make enough money at someday with this stuff to retire them and let them just be themselves and do what they enjoy, so that they don't have to work until the day they die. And so
Or
yeah,
even
just
like, money aside, like I've met people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they don't have any family or anything, or they're just like completely miserable, or they hate their work. It's like,
yeah.
oh, good for you. You have all the money, but what now? Like, you wasted all this
Yeah,
time.
money doesn't
They
cure
gotta find their
happiness.
happiness.
Yeah, so the value behind that is, I mean, if that's what they want, but money does not bring happiness. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Temporary,
And
but not for long.
yeah, and I definitely feel like with the community that we got going too, like I don't think of XLG as being like a support group or a place to find games. With the people in there that we have that are like actively talking and actively being a part of the XLG community, they're family at this point. Like it's not just a support thing or the place to find video games. It's a place to feel like you want it to be zero. It's a place to feel welcome, a place to be loved. I just
Yeah, and
got
I have to thank everybody in the community for that because, I basically just built the house. The community is who filled it with the people that's in there, and everybody's just been so great. I love our community so
Mhm.
much. And
Yeah.
it just makes me so happy that it's come to this because I've seen so many failing communities and, full of toxic people, but we don't breed that in our house. It's like,
Mm-mm.
you know, I think people know that too, and it's very attractive. So they just want to, hear what we're talking about, which is always good vibes.
Yeah, and I definitely noticed as being a part of it as well. You have to deal with a lot of drama. How do you feel about having to deal with all that drama and behind the scenes? We don't really get to see most of it, besides for the big stuff that gets portrayed in there. But how do you go about dealing with all that and trying to keep it out of the Discord? Do you have to do it a lot?
Um, so anytime something like this comes up, I like to take a minute to reflect. There's actually a technique in my business where you'll get a nasty email or something like that, or someone reaches out and just trying to like upset you. What you do is you write out your little message, if it's angry or not, but don't send it, and then take 30 minutes, just leave it, come back, and then reread it. And if you still feel in 30 minutes, that you want to send it, don't send it, just delete it. Because it's not going to solve anything. I'm a very patient person. Growing up, I used to have a very bad temper, but that was part of that. I don't want to be like my dad, and I want to be a good father to my children, so I will never act out on anger. But it's really helped me be patient. So I like to sit back and kind of just think like, okay, what war am I fighting here? Would it be better if I just take the hit to make a bunch of people happy? Or am I going to act out and spite and piss this one person off and, upset a bunch of people? So it's very tactical. Some people I just don't say anything to because it's better to just not say anything. But it's very nasty, a bunch of stuff that happens in the back ends. But it's just taking the time to think like, okay, what's the best response in this situation? Which has been very difficult because I've never had to really deal with so much problem solving, but I like to think of all the different angles before I actually come up with the resolve.
That's good. That's smart.
That's definitely a good way to go about it too. And I noticed that it definitely been working as well. And we don't get to see a whole lot of that That would bring me into my next question. How do you grind so hard with having a job in the background, a wife, and 2 kids? How do you do it?
So, so this technique I actually learned when I went through my divorce about 6 years ago. So I had to work as a server, and then I had to watch my son, and it was just a constant juggle. But being a server, I learned how to really micromanage my time, taking those orders and remembering lots of things. But then I put all that effort into a calendar, and not calendars don't always work for everybody. But ever since then, I always put everything on the calendar, down to the hour, so that way I can look at like a bird's eye view. Okay, where do I have time? I even consider sometimes I'll consider okay, I want to spend an hour just eating. Put it on the calendar.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
giving myself an hour. Where's my downtime? Like, when am I going to hit burnout? Like, how much can I squeeze in here or there? Like, even my bills, all my bills are on a calendar. So that way, I can plan my finances around it. But that's been like really the key to success, with juggling kids, work, side work, friends, my own personal time to, just have downtime or go do something for myself. But even, my girlfriend, she hates it. But I said, look, I got Thursday, you get 3 hours. Saturday, got 2 hours here. And then, Sunday, we got to go to Walmart. So it's like, she's even on the calendar. She hates it. Don't put me on the calendar. I was like, everybody's on the calendar. Like,
Yeah.
you're no exception. So, and,
Well,
I do kind of break the rules, but that's it. I do have the luxury of working a work from home job, and I'm very good at my job. So I do get some free time to kind of not work my job while working my job, which also helps. Like if I had a job where I had to do like manual labor and stuff like that, it would be a lot tougher, but I would still make time after work to get everything done. And honestly, technology, how it's set up, I can actually manage the entire Discord from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, like updating roles or like dropping new content and trailers and stuff, I can do that all from my living room. I don't have to have a PC, which is also glorious. But yes, having a schedule, planning your work, working your plan, like that's it, is, taking into effect, like, know yourself when you're going to burn out. Like, I actually have to schedule my own breaks because I get so laser focused on certain projects that I won't pull away, and then I'll hit burnout for like 3 months. So I've been trying to get better at like, okay, don't hit burnout, like give yourself time, breathe, step away, everything's going to be okay.
I was actually going to bring that up because you talk about getting burned out. And I know you've only been working on this Discord for about 7 months, but do you think at some point in the future, with how hard you grind on the Discord and everything else in your life, that it's a possibility you could get burned out? Or no, because you have the calendar to like schedule your own breaks and downtime and stuff like that?
So it's a fact that new business owners usually do most of the work for up to year 2 to year 3. Like, that's just a fact. It's all out of pocket usually. They always put in more labor than everybody else. But once you start getting established and you have your foundation in your business model, you should be good at delegation. Delegation is very important for managers, and it's something I've been working on. In these relationships I've been building, especially with other partners, it's been a trust thing, and having a handshake and meeting these people that I can actually trust to give more responsibility, to take the weight off of me, so that I can go do other things. So right now, I'm learning how to delegate better, because it's definitely, a skill. It's not easy. And this is my baby, so it's hard to be like, go ahead,
Giving
take
pieces
my
of it
baby.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, I trust you. Feed it broccoli.
Feed it broccoli.
So yeah, I'm kind of trying to let go of the reins a little bit. The stream team right now was a testament to that. Is, you know, I wanted to keep the team small. I wanted to delegate responsibilities. You know, see who's picking up the pieces, who's picking up the reins and trying to drive, without me actually saying anything, as kind of like a test. You know, I want to see who's in it to win it, and, you know, kind of step away. So, you know, as we're working as a team and getting better, and, you know, with scheduling and stuff, personally, I want to step away from it. I want to say, you know, okay, we have a stream leader. They're doing all my responsibilities. The stream team can drive by themselves, and then I can go, you know, build an esports team in Overwatch or Apex Legends, something like that, so that we can get, you know, sponsored that way.
Is that
And go
something
do
you
the stuff I
currently
need to.
have in the works or planning on doing in the next couple of years? Is starting an esports team for?
That leads me
Yes,
on to my question.
I want competitive XLG teams trained in house to compete for money cups
That would
in all
be
games.
amazing.
Fortnite, baby.
Fortnite Cup.
Yep. So we got Fortnite, Apex, Valorant, you know, Rocket League. It's all on the table. It's
That's
just a matter
awesome.
of getting those people together and those teams trained.
How would
So-
you, I don't know if you could answer this at this point, but how would you go about training them in house?
I would pick good people that were ready
Okay.
for that. Like, because that's another thing is, you know, it's good to have a good player, but is that good player a good trainer? Can they teach?
Mhm.
You know, maybe they'll know the ins and outs of the game, but they're garbage at training. So it's a matter of finding the people that have the ambition to want to win, and getting them together, or finding a team that's already pre-made that just needs a sponsor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are already teamed up. You know, we want to train. Here's the idea. XLG will sponsor you. You know, we'll find you gigs. You guys go play, get better, throw on some shirts, and then go to a cup.
Do
See what
you
happens.
think along with an esports team, you might release more content with it, like coaching stuff, like coaching videos or like one-on-one coaching training, stuff like that?
Yeah, zero limits. So, you know, I do want to kind of do like broadcasting. So, you know, on those kinds of tournaments, if we had like a dedicated streamer that could, you know, commentate over the matches, or, you know, maybe we'll do like an inside view of what the, you know, the team has to go through in their training. But definitely have, you know, like it would basically be a management position in that game that would communicate up into, you know, leadership above them. But they would have their own, you know, they would have their own leader, and then every leader would have like a trainer role, or like a hybrid player slash trainer. And then we would have all of our candidates that would, you know, do trials to try to get into the team. So we'd basically be taking applications and doing tryouts until we found the players, based on statistics, you know, high KDA, stuff like that. And then they get put on the team, and then they do tryouts again. And then everybody would train as a team, as a cohesive unit. So,
Mhm.
That's awesome.
but that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So
Mm.
it's a matter of finding the people that, you know, like I said, are in it to win it and want to go through all that, to win.
That's awesome.
I love that.
But it trends upwards. You know, it only takes once. Like once we have a team, like say in Fortnite, because that's really popular. If we have teams being trained up, you know, people are gonna be like, oh, what? XLG's training competitive teams in house? They're doing esports? And then, you know, people will start coming forward. Well, hey, I want to do Apex. I want to do Valorant. And it's like, then we'll start
Really
spreading
growing
out.
with it, yeah.
But yeah, it's getting that initial team base together first and winning money. Like it would be really cool if it was like, hey, you know, this XLG team won $250,000 in Fortnite. Yeah, we train winners. Who wants some?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome, dude. I love that. It really sounds like you have a very meticulous thought process and a good brain for it. Like especially with the 5 to 10 year plan and stuff like that, it really shows that you're not just like winging it and doing stuff on impulse. Like you have an idea and then you put hours and hours of thought into it to like plan out step by step how everything would come together and work in the end.
Right. Yes.
He
Yep.
definitely
I
makes
have
his
flow
patience.
charts and data tables. I'm constantly watching different charts and data analysis. So it's not perfect, and there's no like real book on how to do it in this industry. So that's where I'm winging it. Is like, okay, how is this supposed to work? But it's also asking those hard questions. Like, okay, maybe this isn't going to work. You know, what do we do if it flops? You know, what's the step after that?
Mhm.
Right.
I
And
guess
things happen. So, you know, it's also having contingencies. Contingencies are very important.
very true. With our last question, I feel like we can push this till the end. I feel like we could talk to Zero for hours, dude. We're gonna have to have Zero on for another one.
Yeah.
um, with your stream team that you got together, how did you go about picking everybody that you started with and that you do with potential prospects? What do you look for as well?
So it definitely wasn't very easy. Some of the key things that I look at is, you know, first, you know, I'll watch a streamer and I'll do a vibe check. I want to make sure, you know, they fit the brand. You know, what am I looking for? Like, would this person have something to offer what I'm trying to achieve? You know, not all streamers are like that. So that would be the first thing. The second thing would be like, okay, you know, what are their skill sets while watching them? Do they have a bunch of buttons? Are they really good about talking about topic? Are they playing their game or not playing their game and like really engaging with the chat? You know, have they spent a lot of time on their art and their overlay? Are they consistent with their schedule? Are they consistent with their game, or are they switching? You know, I mean, there's tons of questions, but especially in a team environment, uh, the people that I've chosen, each one has their own flavor, and they all have their own skill that they can bring to the table. Every single one of them. Like, it's fantastic. And it wasn't on purpose. It just kind of happened the way it did. But everybody in the team has something to offer someone else on the team. And now it's a matter of just getting everybody to work together with all their skills to become great as a team.
Hmm.
So that's part of it, is just, you know, like, I don't look at views. I don't look at, you know, duration of stream or like, you know, how many giveaways or anything like that. It's actually like, is this person talented? Like, do they have what it takes to be, you know, a successful streamer? Are they putting in the work, kind of thing? Or even if, you know, even if they have like, we have some people that, you know, they're really new to streaming, but I could tell it's what they want. So it's like, you know, that's also a very good prospect, because it's like we can train them to be what they want to be. So it's having that objective and that goal set first so that it's on the table for everyone, and then taking the steps to reach that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so you're so with the team that you have built, are you proud of it? Like, are you proud of the stream team and how do you feel like everybody is definitely capitalizing on what they're being able to bring to the team?
I'm super happy with the team. I could not ask for a better team, to be completely honest. And how it's been working, it's just been fantastic. I love talking about it. I have to brag, because, you know, I talk to people about it all the time, and they're like, "Oh, you're working on this like second project?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What's better than being a streamer?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It'd be cool to be a streamer, right? Like, what's better than being a streamer?" They're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "How about having a stream team.
Yeah.
Like, like, I'm not a streamer, but I have a team, you know, so it's very powerful. And this month is a testament, you know, of what we're doing. You know, everybody step forward towards the mental health awareness month, and you know, we've almost raised $1,000 for a selfless cause. You know what I mean? So it's just so powerful.
So do you think this kind of coincides with what we're talking about? Do you think that maybe even a few years down the line, 5 years down the line, especially like if you have your esports team set up and a whole team of things, would you want like a warehouse based somewhere to like bring in professional players or new content creators and give them a space for
Are you
better
talking about game
opportunity to
houses?
grow? Yes.
I
Well,
would love game house.
game houses and like I don't know if you know who Cypher PK is or not. He's a big Fortnite YouTuber, but he just started last year a warehouse studio called Oni Studios, where he literally brings in like small streamers and then helps boost their platform, gives them the um things that they need, like whether it's a new setup or better environment, better living environment, whatever, to help them progress to a bigger level.
Yep, you're talking my system here. So I would love to do that. It's just, you know, one step at a time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, having you know, game houses where members can fly from all over the country to practice and train with their team, and having sponsored gear and merch, and you know, being able to provide optimal performance resources so that they can compete on that meta level.
Yep.
Absolutely, I would love that.
That's amazing. That's always been like one of my big dreams too. Like if I am able to take off this, I want to do what you're talking about and start like a gaming house or a warehouse to give smaller creators a better chance at becoming what they want to achieve.
If we ever do
Yeah,
get like
and that's what we're all about.
or when we do, it's not going to be an if. When we do get like a game house too and stuff like that, I call Rumen. They're sleeping in the same bed as Draco. On that right now.
You guys just wake up out of bed and on camera. Welcome to the Blade and Draco show. Morning Wood.
Morning Wood.
The Morning Wood show. I think that's what Draco's show is called.
Well, this was super awesome.
But yeah, a little sneak peek before I let you go is like I'm actually looking into making hardware.
Oh,
Like I want to have custom controllers with graphics and stuff on them. You know, custom arcade sticks with you know, special joysticks and knobs and buttons. You know, that comes straight out of XLG.
that'd be really
You know,
cool.
custom shirts and better merch than, you know, the kind of stuff that we have now. Like real like nice tees and stuff like that. But you know, hopefully one day, you know, maybe we'll even release our own game. You know,
I don't
who's
know
to
how
say?
much it would cost, but have you thought about like keyboards and mice too? Doing like a color scheme for XLG and stuff like that, like custom keyboards and
Oh yeah, or you know, even like skins for PS5s and stuff like
yeah,
that.
that'd
All
be
day.
awesome.
Yep, having custom graphics, or like our own headset. You know, would be cool.
That would be
That'd be really
awesome.
cool.
But yeah, even bringing back vintage, you know, arcade cabinets in a like more modern design that's like a more affordable option would be really cool.
That would be.
Well, thank you so much, Zero, for joining
Thank
us
you.
with this podcast.
Yeah, it was an honor.
you're welcome.
Honestly, I could sit here for like 3 more hours asking a million different questions.
I got a bunch
I
of questions
appreciate
too.
y'all having me on your show.
Of course.
Yeah, you'll definitely be here again. I'm sure you'll be on it again, and then
Yep, you
maybe
just say when.
we'll be able to see a couple months or even like just a couple months too from now. We'll be able to come back and talk to you and hear about more progress with the XLG and where you're going and new projects you got coming up, and I'm excited for that too.
Me too.
Yep, always working on something.
He's always cooking in the kitchen.
Always cooking.
You can smell that chili in there. It smells like a real home recipe. But yeah, thank you so much again. Thank you. And with this,
You're very welcome.
You guys got anything else you want to roll in there real quickly?
It might take a little bit of time.
Might take a little bit of time. Okay.
I think I can save it
Right.
for the next one.
Okay.
For the next time we have
Alright.
zero.
Guess we'll wrap it up. Well,
Wrap it
thank
up.
you again, Zero, for joining us. It was an honor. It was amazing talking to you. This podcast just flew by. It was so fun having you on. If you guys made it to this far on the podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and go check out the XLG Discord, Zero Limits Gaming. It's an incredible community. Like he said, they've got gamers, they've got streamers, they've got blogs, news reports, everything that you could want about video games in there. It's just an amazing community. So go check them out. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
XOG!
XOD strong, baby.